Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets. What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to see him beating him at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go, here we go.
I would have guaranteed that AJ would be the one that wants to dump it on Sirianni.
Let's see.
And Devontae, and sneak your way.
Uh-oh. Good move there.
Oh.
Great maneuver.
A little okie doke. Oh!
The best shower Nick Sirianni will ever have.
Welcome to the Philly podcast on the all-new Broken Bell Network. Still riding high on that sweet, sweet victory, we still tackle the big topics of the week. From restructures to extensions and re-signings, we've got it all. Our special guest this week, Terrance Parsons from the Unwanted Opinion podcast. And now, almost smoother than watching DeJean's pick six for the third time today, your hosts, Eric and Fuzzy.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the Philly podcast. Obviously, you can see Eric's not here as he is dealing with a car crash, apparently.
Whoa, don't start it like that, bro. you don't start it with it's a car crash. No, Eric's fine, everybody. What are you doing? Why would you deliver news in that fashion, buddy? What is wrong with you? Eric is fine. Eric was not in a car. Eric is great. I am out of the booth tonight because... Do you want me to break this or do you want to say it properly?
You can do it.
Eric's power is out. He has to pay his bill. No, there was an accident near his house that took out the power into his entire neighborhood, apparently, and unfortunately, will be. Hopefully, I think he said it may be up. He was hoping to have it up by 8:30, 9 o'clock. So he just might be popping in on us, and boom, there we go.
What's that TV show with Jason Bateman and the doctor who had the worst Arrested Development? Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, yeah.
The doctor who gave, he looks dead. And they're like,
Dr. I'm going to get him confused. I'm thinking of the 30 Rock doctor, Leo Spacemi. Dr. Leo Spaceman.
Yeah.
What's the other one? There were so many good Law Bob Law on Arrested Development. Who is the doctor on Arrested Development?
Oh, I never watched it.
Oh. There was a lot of movement this week, huh?
Yeah, it was lots and lots of movement.
Well,
he's just watching the Cowboys pressure. Presser. Apparently, I can't speak tonight. Equals car crash.
Listen. There are some things that the Dallas fans will have to answer for, and hopefully we are gonna hopefully have our guest tonight, Terrance Parsons, join us. He is from the Unwanted Opinion podcast. That is actually he's also Micah Parsons' brother.
Yeah, he's Micah's old. I'm pretty sure he's Micah Parsons' older brother. What's funny is the whole time that I thought that like seeing him on Twitter. He's active on Twitter. He's active on Twitch, which I don't understand Twitch. I'll never get into it. I know
You're not a gamer.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine.
For the whole time, I thought he was his cousin for some reason. Eric's like, no, he's his brother. I'm like, all right, well, oh my God. And speaking of the devil, you want to bring him on?
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Philly podcast. We have ourselves joining us, Mr. Terrance Parsons, once again from the Unwanted Opinion podcast. Welcome, sir.
What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, man?
You know we're living a dream. We're still we're still okay with everything in the world. That's what's happening.
Yeah, we're yeah. I think I watched the Cooper DeJean pick like 4 times today. and the Devontae catch with the Moneyball music like 6 times.
Yeah, you have to be relishing every moment of this.
Yeah, and listen, I joke around, with like Dallas fans, and and I think it was me and Keith were talking the other day. I was like, oh, it's the day that Dallas wins the Super Bowl. It's going to be so nauseating because they're going to be us, and they deserve it because their team's #1. It's they've been getting ripped on since 1996, and they're just going to be at it, and as they should be. But thanks for joining us. I know we linked up on Facebook. You had commented on the Nolan Smith, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt comparison. We joke around, saying you're an Eagles hater, and rightfully so. You're a Cowboys fan. Your brother plays for the Cowboys, who I respect.
You better be.
Right. And we listen. We mean that this is Keith. He's our producer. Eric's having some technical issues. Like we were talking backstage before this, and I was like, we were just talking about it, like how good Micah is and everything else. Like it's the guy's a stud, and I think it's crazy.
I think we said the amount of stuff he has done in 4 years is like one of those things that like it's. I know it's on paper because people don't pay attention to the positions that the important positions that Look, 12 and a half. We just said it. It's 12 sacks last year. What are we talking about?
And he missed what, at least four games?
4 games.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? What you do is you go and you find
5 games.
Was it 5
games?
Yeah, 12 sacks in 12 games.
So he's averaging a sack a game. So that means he's hitting the quarterback. He tackled the quarterback once a game. It's ridiculous. It's out of hand. He's so good. And I think it's funny is you have your Giants fans who they want to sit there and talk that ish, but they had a chance to get him right there. And that was the year the Eagles made the trade to get Devontae Smith, and then Dallas I think they just switched spots, and they moved up, and I think Dallas moved back 2 spots and took Micah. Like the Giants could have traded him. Could have drafted him right there, but you know how Giants are. They're just their team is not going to be relevant for a while. And then like we were saying backstage, I was like, I think it's ridiculous that people give Micah a hard time because he does a podcast. He's not missing practice. He's not missing any camp. He's not missing team meetings. These guys are still human. This isn't the 70s and the 80s where you hate the player you play. It's different because of social media. Everyone's active. Everyone talks to each other. The biggest thing that everyone says is a brotherhood. Well, then let them be on brotherhood and let them talk off air. Let them talk. Slay was on in the beginning of the season with Michael on the Bleacher Report, and Darius Slay got ripped. For what? For what? He's not missing practice. And I'm like, it's their free time. Let them do what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're gonna dive right into it. Obviously, it's been it's been crazy the last 24 hours. Like I was looking at this show and I was like, are we gonna have anything to talk about other than this and that? Coupled with the Super Bowl, the draft, and next thing you know, the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Redskins, you know what I meant. The Commanders all make moves. So let's go. We'll go into the Commanders. What are your thoughts on the Deebo Samuel trade, Terrance?
I thought that they could have did better, in my opinion. I thought they could have did better. Just overpriced. He's just an overpriced receiver for the production that he's been putting out, honestly, and that's just what it is. But honestly, it could be a solid move for them. Depending on how Cliff Kingsbury plans to use him, if he can stay healthy, it could definitely be a good move for them.
Health, right? You always have to go back and question that. And do you? That was my question to you. When you asked you, they could have gotten more. I feel like they could have paid less, right? In the sense that they should have waited to see what the market played out with on a couple of other players before they dropped it on him, just because of what you brought up as the injury status stuff, which are you getting 17 games? I don't think you're getting 17 games from him.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to why he wanted to get traded too. I think he wanted to get used in a different way. He wants to be an actual true receiver. We're gonna see if we can do that.
I mean, yeah, wait, but where they've been using him, how they've been using him, that's a good point that they're I feel like they're probably burning him out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you only have those many good years in your position. But I definitely think they overpaid. I was dumbfounded by that contract.
Yeah, I mean obviously it makes the Commanders good. I mean, not that they weren't good, but they had 5 wins this year with the last minute of the game. That's not going to happen in 2025. They're going to have a second place schedule. It's going to be tough for the Eagles. As much as we want to say as good as the Eagles are, it's going to be a rough. Eagles could go 12-5. They're not going to go 14. I'll be personally shocked if they go 14-3. I'm an Eagles fan, and I'll be really shocked if they go 14-3. But I do think they do have the good coaching. They have the players. They have Jaden is better than Purdy. I love Jaden. I love Jaden Daniels. So I'm glad he brought it up. But I real quick, I'm just going to ask you because it's your unbiased opinion. What was the better play, the Saquon hurdle or the Jaden Hail Mary?
I mean, the better play got to be the Hail Mary. But the individual play, just because it was a winning play, but the individual play, it got to be Saquon. That was impossible. So,
what was your reaction when you saw that?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I had to rewind it every time.
I'm in a group chat. And I'm like, everybody, rewind the TV and watch us.
Yeah.
Terrance, here's the best part. So, I'm about to head out of the house, so I throw it on the phone and I get it on YouTube TV. So, I pop it up, and it's on that extra second, right? I'm actually ahead of the crowd at the house I'm actually at. So, I'm looking down at the phone, and I'm like, yo! They were like, what? And they were like, and then you just heard it 2 seconds later, the a wave of yo's. I see your point, right? The play of the year was a Hail Mary that can happen on any Thanksgiving family game, right? But the fact that it was it was a clutch play is what made the difference over just an athletic feat that you'll never see again. And Madden had to enter into the game lexicon because they never had that shit programmed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to get your clarification on it. Thank you, sir. I've been educated, I guess.
And you know what? That play actually changed both franchises for the season.
Yeah.
The Bears didn't win a game for 12 weeks, and the Commanders went on an incredible run.
Yeah.
So now let's turn our attention to the big news. Dallas. CD restructured. Dak restructured. So I think they're at $56 million at the cap. I gotta think. I said today I think the Cowboys are going to make a run at DK, and and I gotta think they're going to extend Micah. What are your thoughts? If you can't talk about Micah, that's fine. But I gotta think they gotta go after DK.
They're gonna go after somebody. I'm not sure if it's DK. I'm not sure who it's gonna be, but I do know that they're gonna make some moves. You're not freeing up all this cap to not make any moves, you know.
Right.
That's just where I'm at with. I don't know who we're gonna target because we're gonna be selectively aggressive, and we don't really go with big names. But DK would definitely be exactly what we're looking for.
It's got to be.
Everybody's looking for. Don't kid yourself. He ain't. Everybody wants a shot at that DK right now.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they could also get, for like a 3-year deal, well, maybe 2-year deal. They could also go after Tyler Lockett, who was released today, who's not a bad receiver.
Yeah, I mean, and no disrespect to Tyler Lockett. He's a good receiver. I want the explosive receiver. Yeah.
Listen, if I have DK or Tyler, I'm taking DK. Yeah. I don't think there's no disrespect. It's just I saw personally what DK Metcalf did to the Eagles in the regular season and in the playoffs.
Good to the Cowboys too.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
You're paying for a lot of experience with DK, and it, you gotta. That's one of those. DK is one that I believe we said. Who else did we say prior to the show that they were looking at?
I'm gonna take a hard look at Devontae Adams. 2 years, $20 million a year. Get it done. We can afford it.
Yeah, you really can, and it's got to be. Listen, they got to get a receiver. Do you think the Cowboys draft the running back from Boise State if he's there?
No.
You think they like Rico Dowdle there?
Everything's pointing towards
Rico
receiver in the first round. Everything's pointing towards drafting a receiver.
And you said it, Fuzz. You know it. Like everyone knows it. Like no one. That's not a big secret. What has Dak been missing? He's been missing. Right. And that brings you back to with these restructures that they did. How expected did you see this coming for this amount? This is insane, a cap space amount that they're looking at here.
It was 2 moves. Two moves. Yeah. And they're at $56 million.
It's insane.
When looking at the way that they structured it initially, we all kind of all the content creators kind of knew it was going to happen. $90 million second year, nobody's going to do that. You know what I mean? Not and try to win anyway. So we kind of seen that coming. The big thing was getting Osa done as soon as we got Osa done, because that set the trend for okay, maybe things might be changing a little bit. We didn't drag it out. We didn't tag them. We got it done, and hopefully we can do the same thing with Micah.
Yeah, and that's
gonna happen soon.
That's the easiest deal in the world to do. I'm not trying to be.
Hold on.
I know it's your brother, and I'm not trying. Look. I know you got an opinion on it. I'm not trying to spice it. What I'm saying is, it's still Micah Parsons. What are we talking about?
For the Cowboys, it's always years and structure the contract.
Well, that's a JJ thing. What are we going to do? I'm not.
And that's another thing that me and Keith were talking backstage. The salary cap is a fugazi number because Howie Roseman does nothing but finagle at years, and he's kicked the cans down the road. And
kicking down the road is going to eventually catch up.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. But
it's got to be on a major injury, though, right? It's got to be an injury that bites you so hard in the ass, but you can't restructure out of it because it's surrounded by guaranteed money.
Right, but it doesn't matter because the Eagles have 2 Super Bowls in 7 years. They have 3 appearances in the Super Bowl in 7 years. So, we all said as Eagles fans, we would sell our soul. If it meant our team sucking for 4 years or 3 years or however long, we would take it. The only problem is we sacrificed the Super Bowl in 2017, and the rest of the Philadelphia sports teams forgot how to play sports. The Flyers, the Sixers, and the Phillies. You lost the World Series. We took that sacrifice, and it cost us everything. And now this year it cost us Joel Embiid, and I'm okay with it because we got a second Super Bowl.
No, Terrance still trusts the process, don't you?
Oh God,
no.
No, the process.
Oh, okay,
was-
all right. We don't even know what the process was. You figure it out. You come back on the show. You're gonna explain it to me. Like break it exactly
the
down.
process is over when they signed to buy
I would like that.
players.
I would like that.
Jimmy Butler go.
So we're talking about Micah Parsons, and there was another contract today that up until about 23 minutes ago, Keith here didn't know the guaranteed money.
Oh yeah, Max Crosby.
Oh my God!
90% guaranteed.
Yeah. I was actually on another podcast when that dropped, and yeah, I mean, it's not changing anything major for Micah, but guaranteed money, you know. And that's big for real. You know, that's the biggest part of the contract, the guaranteed money. And yeah, 90%. That's huge because you know we're getting closer to that 100% guaranteed contracts, and I think that's what the players really need for real.
Yeah, I mean, who was it? You know, what they're going to use as their argument, the owners and everything. They're going to use it to Deshaun Watson because that was all guaranteed money, and that was a terrible contract from the beginning.
Yep.
It was a risk by the Browns, and it just didn't turn out, but. I think it went a long way towards the players because everybody, as you've seen, like everybody's getting closer and closer to that 100% guaranteed money. Everybody's trying to get closer and closer to that. Even in the big contracts, they're aiming more towards higher guaranteed money.
I think it really, and it goes to say this is whatever it really burns those smaller market teams. Where they can't operate on guaranteed cash sometimes.
But no, that's not how the NFL works because everyone gets they're supposed to. They're supposed to.
Thank you. Supposed to, right? Like we all know, but Jeff Lurie is sitting on $3 billion in equity. Like, what are we talking about? Like, there's a big difference between supposed to and what's reality. Like he can walk into a dealership and they're going to hand him the keys just because he is Jeffrey Lurie. Like, don't kid yourself, bro. He privileged working by a different set of rules. Like,
I say something about Jerry Jones, man. A lot of these franchises are using, their football's their plaything. For Jerry Jones, it's his business. This is his number one moneymaker. He's not trying to spend any more unnecessary cash than he has to.
Which is crazy because we always joke around because it's easy to make fun of Dallas, but he really is really concerned more about the brand than actually winning again. And it's got to, as a fan, it's got to drive them nuts because, you're looking at teams like, if you're looking at the Eagles, who've been to 3 Super Bowls in 7 years and have won 2 of them. And that's got to drive them nuts because, for how long? 51 years we were the joke with the no Super Bowls, and now we've had 3 appearances, 7 years and 2, and it's like, and there's a good chance, like, it's hard to do. They're not the Chiefs. There's a very good chance they could go deep in the playoffs again next year. They're gonna have a really hard schedule, but if they're that well coached and that talented, then there's no reason that they shouldn't be going deep into the playoffs and representing the NFC in the NFC Championship game. There's no reason they shouldn't.
I want the NFC East to be a nail biting division again. I do. It's gonna be jumping off of Chris's what he stated, and Terrance, you can say no comment. That's cool. Do you think Micah's big mouth has like put the target on his back from Dallas fans because he's being too honest, right? Like he is literally saying what the team needs, how they need it, where they need it. Be aggressive, be aggressive, and you got JJ walking around saying, "I'm not going to be aggressive." Like, why is it that you think that the fans are backing up the management that hasn't really brought them home anything to talk about when you got Micah bringing home the promise of what you need? That's what you need. You need guys like him to make. What do we talk about?
Work.
Right?
Make everything work. Honestly, like for me, it's just about if you're in tune with the team or not. If you're not in tune with the team or not, then yeah, you're gonna fall for what you see in the media. And I mean, what they see in the media and what actually goes on is two totally completely different things.
Don't we know it in Philly?
Don't get me started on Philly media.
So it's just a lot of Cowboy Nation. I learned from experience. Really don't be in tune with the team, and it shows a lot of the time. If you're blaming the players that we have currently for 30 years, that's the issue right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the issue right there.
Yo, is the water boy even around for 30 years?
Yeah, like, there's only one common denominator in 30 years, and that's the Jones family. So I think they took a hard look in the mirror this offseason, and I think they're approaching things a little differently.
Hey, listen, I always sit there and joke around. I was a big Dak guy in 2023. Like I said, I personally thought he should have won the MVP. I know a lot of people say, well, he had garbage time stats. He still had stats. He still had to throw the ball. He still had to complete the pass.
I will bring up the numbers right now. There's no such thing as garbage time stats in that 23 season. He sat more fourth quarters than not.
And I know. No, I know. I'm not. I'm saying, like, I think he should have beat Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
I think the only thing that kept Dak from winning the MVP because
winning big games.
It's not even that. It was Baltimore had the number 1 seed. That was it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, they had the same record. Baltimore had the number 1 seed.
I said, listen, the same reason why Josh Allen got it this year is the same reason why Dak should have got it last year. He did more with less.
More with less. I was just about to say, look what Dak had surrounding him, right, at the time. Going through actually even, I think, more drama and turmoil in 23.
Going into the 23 season, they said we wouldn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Like,
and then it was 40-0 against the Giants in the blink of an eye.
Yeah. And then
I was like, I was so mad. I was like, I'm turning this off.
What do you
just want Dallas to lose? Can the Giants just do something for me? And they gave us Saquon.
Man.
So, and they got they gave us Saquon, but they got Hard Knocks canceled.
So they did that.
Right, so
nobody wants to do it. No team will touch Hard Knocks after they.
I mean, they knew what they did on camera. They knew what they did on camera. It was being recorded. They knew what they said.
So I always sit there and say, like, I know, like, I have a few Giants fans, and like I said, and I know that they couldn't afford to sign Saquon. We all know. I'm sure they could have. I'm sure they could have done something. I just don't know if I would have said it on national TV. That's my whole thing.
Do you know the real, like, the reason, like, the only reason why he left? He would have stayed in New York. New York wouldn't give him more guaranteed money at the end of his contract like they didn't believe in him, and he left. That was the whole. That was like, that's crazy to me. $a few million.
It was like $4. It wasn't even that much. It was like $4 million. That was at the end of the deal, and they were like, "Nah."
I don't care. His contract was so low, 100% wouldn't have hurt them.
Exactly.
Right now, he's the highest paid running back in the league. Like, he brought back the position. Like, I'm waiting for some motherfucker to bring back the fullback. Okay, because like I miss that
Mike
too.
Allstott.
But like, we finally got running backs again. Like, what? Like, I know we're still gonna fall back to the running back by committee. Like, that's of course. But it's nice to see a centerpiece team feature that. And now look what you got. You got teams like the Eagles got a late start. I think a lot of the GMs out there were waiting on what the market was going to look like, and they wanted to, for some stupid reason, they want to include the Eagles in that conversation. You should never include Howie in any fucking conversation about contracts. Like, if a 215 area code number is on a GM's phone, he should be hanging that shit up immediately. Do not disturb. New phone, who this?
Like, yeah, I don't know how GM still, and I know you got it's part of the business, but I don't know how you still got to answer the phone when Howie calls. Like, I still don't get it. Like, I still don't.
Man, everybody has everybody can move like Howie. You know what I mean? A lot of guys don't like taking chances. You know, it's that simple. You know.
Tell me from an outsider point of view, like what the league views Howie, because I'll tell you what, he can walk into any bar in this city and man will be drunk within 10 minutes because that's how many drinks he got sending to him. So, but like, what is like the league? I'm sure you don't have love for him, but is there respect?
Yeah, anybody paying attention knows that he's him. Roster building. Hey, he got it. He put together one of the best rosters I think we've seen.
Ever.
In totality, yeah, like in totality, I think it was crazy to watch. I think it was the off season, like like Bond. That I think that was the real game changer for y'all.
It was as great as Saquon is. My
You don't want
podcast
to
partner
get
Eric,
right.
he says the two biggest things were Vic
Bond and
Fangio
Saquon.
and Zach Bond. That's why the Eagles are where they were.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Bond re-signing?
I'm glad he got it. Being in the league so long, he never got a big payday. So like I'm glad that y'all were able to do that for him. I'm happy for the player for sure. I'm just interested to see how y'all going what y'all cap situation gonna look like. Because
he's gonna finagle somehow.
listen,
I've thrown in a towel. Terrance, I'm gonna be completely honest. I've thrown in a towel.
down the road.
Yeah, I've thrown in a towel on the salary cap.
I have $500 million in dead cap money over the next few years.
I think it's 4.5 years.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's only so much kicking you can do. It's going to catch up.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
just like how y'all gonna adjust.
So this last year they didn't have injuries to make it look like it caught up to you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
healthy team in the league. Most healthy
super blessed, super healthiest team in the league you've seen in years in football, right? From a sport that just come.
Y'all, this is the most healthy y'all been since y'all went to Super Bowl last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you, thank you very much for that Bond support, but I also happen to feel like if this is where you're gonna find a weakness in Howie's method, that's gonna happen on something like a Bond contract, something like this.
Yeah, because with a Bond contract like that kind of takes Myles Garrett out the window.
That's what I said, and everyone still thinks Myles is in the conversation, and I think this Bond contract seals the deal on that. If you still want to keep Rodgers in the position, because
And you still got to worry about Milton Williams. And
I think
up next year.
I actually, there was rumors that I thought Milton Williams would go to the Cowboys because there was like a rumor that I saw somewhere on Twitter it was like 3 years, $63 million. I think it was like 33 of it was guaranteed. Again, it was just rumors, and he was going to go to the Cowboys. Me personally, I think he's going to go to the Titans. I don't know. I don't know. This has, yeah.
It's going to be a crazy bidding war.
It is. And I don't know. My thing is this is like, again, like how you said earlier in the message, we're not getting Myles Garrett. If Howie can make it work, he will. But just imagine for 1 second.
The only way you'd be able to make it work, you'd have to lose somebody.
Oh, yeah.
A big payday guy right now, you'd have to lose somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to think like if just imagine Myles Garrett and Jalen Carden standing next to each other. Who do you double team?
Yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't mind if he went to the Commanders. That'd be great for them. He can't go to the Eagles. It's just that simple. He can't go to the Eagles.
That's why I like you. This is why I like you, because this is like that's
it's
your
real talk. It's real talk.
That's your absolute way saying is like it's a lock if you motherfuckers get him on that.
Yeah, because it's you gotta look at it like this. Like if if Howie felt that threatened, that he said if Washington's getting him, I'm stepping in. Jerry has to feel that threatened. If they step in, I'm stepping in. Like I don't care what I got to give up.
What is Overshawn coming?
We got Anthony chiming in, agreeing. He definitely gave Vaughn too much.
I don't think
it's too much. I think it's just more of you're looking at a riskier contract for us.
You gotta look at it. You gotta look at it like this, man. Y'all didn't have a linebacker for so long.
Thank you.
And we got a guy who probably should have won Defensive Player of the Year.
So long, and he definitely should have won Defensive Player of the Year.
Thank you.
And he should have, and he just balled out. Like when guys come in like that, like a guy who comes in on a 1-year contract and
Rod Tidwell contract. Rod Tidwell.
You gotta reward them.
Show me the money, Jerry.
Yeah.
So you also got to realize that Zach balled out in the playoffs. Like he had or recovered a turnover or caused one. So has there been anything on Overshawn? Like I know he had that devastating injury, and that kid was just
balling.
He was ridiculous. He had that touchdown where he knocked it down. It was just a great play, and then kid gets hurt, and listen. I always sit there and say, like, I'm a realist. Like, I'm always going to hate the Cowboys because they're the Cowboys, and I'm an Eagles fan. But again, I also try to keep it real. Like when I go to the Dak, he should have won MVP. Deron Bland was ridiculous last year in 2023.
That's why I try to tell people, listen, all bias aside over here, like I don't try to be biased. I'm a football fan first.
Yeah. And, and like when people sit there, and you see it you're active on Twitter. I'm sure again, I don't know what Twitch is. You're active on Twitch. And I'm sure people sit there and say that the Eagles had, the Avengers. Well, that's not my fault that teams were like,
allowed it to happen.
Right. Teams allowed A.J. Brown to get traded to the Eagles. Teams allowed Saquon Barkley to sign with the Eagles. Mekhi Becton got moved to guard and became an All-Pro. The one thing Howie has done, he has built the offensive line and the defensive line, and he's got the best, offensive line coach, at least right now in the history of the game, in Stalin. That's not my fault. It's the Eagles took advantage of the league not wanting Saquon, not wanting the Titans trading A.J. Brown will always be the most questionable thing I've ever seen. Like I don't get it.
If you go look at his numbers, I see why. At least
I know because Derrick Henry was there.
I think A.J. Brown wanted out. I think that's what that was. I think A.J. Brown wanted out because he came in rookie year and had 50 catches for 1,000 yards.
Ridiculous. He was ridiculous.
Like, as a rookie, 50 catches for 1,000 yards, 20 yards a catch.
That workload, his workload was insane.
And
also gave him a lot of leverage, right, to do what he did. Right, he packed bags, walked out, and pretty much demanded whatever he wanted and got it. So they kind of made if you're gonna grind him, which okay, great. If you're gonna grind him, pay him. Like at the end of the day, like if that's the production you wanted out, you have to recognize what you got out of him. Like, and that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot of teams aren't really respecting that.
It's
that like, oh, listen, and I keep calling them.
What can you keep doing for me? That's what they care about. They don't care about what you've done. What can you keep doing?
Right, like, yo, if you want me to play, how about you treat me, act your wage, right? Like, pay it. Like, I know how much you're making off of my jerseys at the end of the day. Like, don't. What are we doing here? Like, you're a billionaire because you got to make me a millionaire, right?
So, after week 5, just like Philadelphia fan bases do and the Philadelphia sports, that's kind of like why this podcast was started 6 years ago. I couldn't take Philadelphia talk sports radio anymore, so we created this just to sit there, me and Eric and Keith, just to talk. this fan base wanted Nick Sirianni fired, and me and my partner got into a huge argument. I'm like, you fire this guy, he's going to get hired on the first day of the NFL year in 2025. All Nick Sirianni does is win. That's all he does is win. As Keith alludes to, you're an outsider. What are your thoughts as Nick Sirianni? Is he annoying? Is he obnoxious?
Look, nah, I like Nick's energy. I like the energy.
I love his energy.
My thing is here. I don't think he's a great coach. I think that he's a good motivator. I think he got that. I think he got a good swagger. You know what I mean? He can. You know what I mean? Command a locker room and things like that. But when you say all he does is win, I'm like, yeah, that's easy to do. Look at the roster. You're supposed to win with these rosters. If you're not winning with these rosters, you don't deserve to be in the NFL. You know?
I think he's a great operations dude.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were gonna plan a party, let me get Nick in here because he's gonna get that shit popping.
You know what I mean? But
he's gonna make it fun.
Yeah, that's what
I think he knows how to connect people to the right people.
But if you look at the end game coaching, the situational things, look when he was calling the plays, look at y'all win-loss ratio.
Yeah.
He gave up play calling, y'all started winning again.
But that to me, and I get it, but to me, I feel like that's a good coach. Like, my strength, he's like, my strength is, he's the CEO. He knows how to get to the guys. He knows how to approach these guys. And, I just, I
was going to say, he reminds me of James Franklin, for real. James Franklin, great guy, great motivator. You know what I mean? Can rally the guys. He needs the X's and O's guy. He needs the great coordinators, man.
I think a lot of people are confusing that he's not a play caller he's not a play designer. That's like, he is a play designer. He knows football. He knows how to devise it. He knows how to, but when he is in the game, he is thinking more about personality, talent, where he can match them up, and he will throw those people in. He will call those shifts. He will call those types of things, and then let the masters who are watching the game and see how they can make it work in the situation or call it on that situation. I think a lot of people just go, well, he don't know football because he's not calling the plays. That I think is one of those, like, when now you're doing a disservice. Yes, he has the roster, but at the end of the day, if he didn't, it's not Ted Lasso. It's not like some dude's over in Europe coaching soccer and all he knows is football. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, but I say, listen, even when you're not calling, I feel like a head coach who isn't calling the plays has the advantage, you know what I mean, when overseeing the entire team. You know what I mean? Their focus isn't taken up on this particular side of the ball. So I'm with you on that. Just because they aren't calling the plays doesn't make them any less of a factor.
Yeah, and I don't think he's not the only NFL coach. I know Mike Tomlin doesn't call plays. So
he's definitely not the only one.
Yeah, so
oh, we're gonna call Mike Tomlin a crumb?
Yeah. Yeah. So, we're gonna eventually get into it. But another thing that came up a couple weeks ago. What are your thoughts on the tush push?
Hey, can't be mad at it.
Ah, yes.
Yo.
The only thing, though, my only pushback is just not a football play. That's one, I mean,
either's the quarterback sneak,
football, but it's not a football play,
right? But is he?
I'm not knacking it. I'm just.
No, I know.
If it were to be banned, I would understand why. It's not a football play, but it's a rugby play. You know what I mean? And that's the advantage. You know what I mean? That's the advantage. And
talking about that Myalata right there. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm saying.
Talking about that Myalata.
I need to see him take a handoff.
This is how this play starts. Like, all right, guys, listen. I got an idea for a play.
Yeah, it started out something like that. Yeah,
and people were like, "Hey."
Mm-hmm.
I like the accent, by the way.
Was that actually?
That was fine.
Oh, God damn. I do, guys. 2 shows a week. Tip your waitresses. Try to veal.
Try to be all.
I'm just,
Yeah, you know, I think it's funny
you
that
gotta beat them. You gotta beat them. You gotta beat you guys in the inches game. Don't let them get there. If you don't want them to do it, don't let them get there.
and that's like
And
kind of and
it's
that's kind of
harder
like
than-
and like when people sit there and call Jalen a tush push, he's a touchdown merchant at the one. Well, how else did they get to the 1 yard line? Like even before Saquon was there, how else did they get to the 1 yard line? Like somebody got him down there. It wasn't always DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders.
like no, listen, like I don't care about the six moves. Like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Touchdowns, whatever.
It can be stopped. It has been stopped.
Stats, you know what I mean? Stats aren't really, I don't really. My thing with Jalen Hurts is just, I think he's a good player. I think he's a good football player. You know, like, I think when you watch him play, you be like, that's a football player. I haven't seen enough from him to call him a good quarterback, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I get it. No, I get it.
You and people call me a hater for it or whatever the case may be. Listen, I watched the game. I know who the elite quarterbacks are. I know an elite quarterback and a good quarterback when I see one, and I see one who is inconsistent. Jalen's more the inconsistent side, but I feel like he does what he does do in big moments kind of overrides a lot. And I will give him that. He does step up in big moments. He does make big plays in big moments.
Yeah, and that you hit it right on the dot. The Chiefs took Saquon Barkley out of that game, like, and they dared Jalen to outplay Patrick Mahomes, and he did. It's
yes, and it was yes and no. For me, it was the game, like the way your run scheme is, the zone run scheme, and Saquon can pick a hole. It eliminates blitzing for the most part. So from the very beginning of the Super Bowl, and I saw that they weren't blitzing, and Jalen Hurts had all day to throw, I said this is a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? It's not that, you know what I mean, Jalen can't throw. It's just the fact that you guys have elite talent at the wide receiver and tight end positions. So it's like, even if you think that he can't beat you, guys wide open will beat you. You know, and that was my biggest takeaway. It's like, you don't blitz, you only send 4. He has all day. Somebody's definitely getting open. Yeah, you're stopping the run, but you're not doing enough on offense to maintain what the defense is doing, and that's just where the game went lopsided at.
Right, and that's kind of like where you brought up Jalen's deficiency in the blitz. If you blitz, the first thing he does, he bails out, he runs to the right. He absolutely runs to the right, and I don't care who you are, and trying to throw on the run with someone chasing you, it is not easy.
No,
and that is, I kind of think that's where Spags lost the game. Is like you said, he didn't blitz him enough and force him out into the right, or even come out to the other, make him spin around to the left. He just, like you said, he had all day to throw. And again, I am not going to sit here and fault Jalen Hurts for having 6 seconds to throw the ball.
Yeah, you can't.
I'll point to edge rush in that game all day long.
Yeah,
all day long. Edge rush, the turning point for me this season on Jalen. Now, I always say this: the best part about not hating Jalen from the rip is never having to say sorry about it. Right? There was a lot of doubting from the beginning. I was like, "What are you doing? He's going to be your quarterback. Like, let's do this." Right?
Were you not worried?
No, hold on. I was over the Wentz thing. I was over the drama. I feel like that if that stayed around for any longer than that was going to possibly be the end of a team dynamic for a very long time. I felt like that could have been cancerous to an organization and a franchise if we had not moved on from the Wentz quickly and said, in Jalen we trust. Was I worried? Of course. The man just got the bubble wrap off. You could still smell the new car on him. Of course I was worried. I had already seen him pick up in the previous season, and I was like, what? This is what? But I saw him improve year in and year out. And this past year, I want to say right now, that man, when it comes to turnovers that did not hurt the team, that man was very clutch this year. He cleaned himself up to the point where he was his own worst enemy up until this year. And I respect the hell out of him for addressing those needs.
Did he adjust those needs, or did they take the ball out of his hands?
Sure, whatever it may be. That means if it means those needs are addressed for him, like, because he'll say it, and I'm not chasing the stat, I'm chasing the W.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like,
nothing wrong with that.
Right. What are we saying? Like, he didn't become perfect at it. He just became he perfected the situation. What are you talking about? Like, when you count the diamonds on the ring, is that going to take away how many more you put on from it? Like, no.
You can't take away nothing that he's done. You can't take away nothing. My whole thing is just like, I just hate the comparables, like the comparisons. You gotta keep the comparisons at home. Like, Jalen Hurts is in a very unique situation that not a lot of people have been in, and like, you can't compare other quarterbacks, other situations, other teams, because
Terrance, say it. He's on a team of future Hall of Famers. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like
say it, Terrance.
You're allowed. We're not gonna rip you for it.
We know it.
No, like it's just, I'm saying, like, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking his credit away.
I know.
But like, it's a great team, man.
and
It's a great team, man.
yeah,
it's a great team. Like, I really think that there's 12 quarterbacks at least right now that can win a Super Bowl on this current roster, the way it's constructed. And to say any otherwise is crazy.
I think what hurts is this. I think what hurts for a lot of Philadelphia fans, and I'm going to say it, and this is from someone who is a very big Jalen supporter, like I just said, from day one. Mm-hmm. I think what hurts is if you have to realize that you can plug and play about 4 to 5 other quarterbacks into the position, same results would have happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that hurts. Like, don't but he's still your guy. Why are you worried? It's like
my thing is, Philly fans, they scream for validation for their quarterback. Why do you need validation for your quarterback? Just win. Just win.
Because Terrance, I'm gonna,
never fucking happy, bro.
And Keith's one of them. Philadelphia sports fans are in love with backup players. So
no, hold on. Yes, only on the okay. He got me there. Okay. But tell him
everybody loves the underdog, though.
Everyone loves the underdog. And
I love it in baseball. Like, for me, when I see it in baseball and it's some dude who's been stuck in the minors, and he's seen these kids grow up and eating these contracts up in front of him, all of a sudden he comes up and he's in his 8th or 9th year and he's getting his first at bat and hits a triple. I'm like, yeah, we needed him, but if you're asking me, do I want Kenny Pickett in there over Jalen? What are you talking about? That's Jalen Hurts.
No, I don't want Kenny Pickett in a quarterback. Let's get that out.
The type of quarterback Jalen is, there's only like 3 or 4 guys that I would like pick over him and think that would do better in what he's doing right now.
So why do you what do you think?
That's a fair statement, Jeremy.
6 of the 13 can lead the team to championship for sure.
And one of those 6 is on the roster. Yep.
Hold up. I don't know about 6 though. If you talking about 6, listen. If we talking about 6, I think you could definitely easily double that.
I would go up to 10 actually. I can count about 4 more.
So why? So we'll just do like a quick quarterback comparison. Why doesn't Lamar Jackson win in Baltimore in the playoffs?
Receiver help. Like, for me, like I was just having this conversation with Raven saying the other day. For me, it's a combination of coaching and receiver help. Okay, so as an offensive coordinator, if the analytic is we're undefeated when Derrick Henry gets 20 or more carries, why isn't Derrick Henry getting 20 or more carries every game?
I don't know.
Easiest money ball solution in the world, sir.
And what was it when they lost to Kansas City 2 years ago? Their biggest thing when they were the number 1 seed is they were one of the best running teams in the league, and they think they ran like 15 times.
The playoffs, and they just stopped running the ball. Like, why? Like, I understand Lamar's great, but the way your team and your roster is constructed, it's not meant for Lamar to be a drop back quarterback 30, 35 times a game when you don't have a true number 1 receiver. It just doesn't make sense.
Correct.
It just doesn't make sense. And I say the same thing about Dak too. Like, and a lot of and I hate, and that's why I feel like the Eagles, they team more evident than anything not this year, but since Jalen Hurts has been the quarterback, because up until now, running quarterbacks hadn't succeeded on this level. But running quarterbacks also never had a team of this magnitude. Why? Those running quarterbacks are always dependent on to do everything. When you're dependent on to do everything in the playoffs, it's easier for you to fuck up. It's easier for you to get shut down and have a bad game and lose. When you have a complete team, I can just turn the ball. I can turn around.
Option 2, option 3, option 4, option 18.
It makes it so much more easier.
Yeah.
And,
Randall Cunningham never had those weapons. Michael Vick never had those weapons.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, the running quarterbacks.
Even Steve McNair, he was a great quarterback. He was one of the toughest quarterbacks and greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen who had nobody. His wide receiver when they went to the Super Bowl was Kevin Dyson.
Yeah.
Cam Newton. What are we talking about? We could do this all day long, right? I think we're all in agreement that this is one of those teams where everyone talks about that. I think I was 5 for 85 Bears, but of course you see the film and all that stuff. So I know the greatness and you can see it, but people are going to be talking about the 24 Eagles in that sense with greatness of teams, right? So I think it's actually really I'm with you. It's easier to say maybe 12 quarterbacks because of how great the team was. And I don't want that to be taken away from what Jalen is. He has gotten better year in and year out.
It doesn't have anything to do with the offense. It has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. It has nothing to do with any of that. The number 1 deciding factor in that game was that defense. The number 1 defense, the number 1 scoring defense in football.
Who's gonna hold on? Who's gonna argue? Wait. Nobody's arguing with you, bro. Everyone who watched that game, aside from the Kendrick show, which was awesome.
And that's why I say, 12, 15 quarterbacks could have won that game. All 32 quarterbacks could have won that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All 32 quarterbacks could have won that game. And
he made it look good, though.
Jalen played a good game. You know what I mean? You can't take nothing away. He played a good game.
He looks fancy out there, sir.
He played a good game.
He put that period on it. He said, people were like, damn, 27, nothing. What? He was like, hold up.
Yeah.
I got something for you.
I like I did like that the sounds of the sideline when he was like, just call it. I like that.
Right, and that's who Nick Sirianni is. That's just who he is he's a shit talker.
All right.
No. That specific game, all 32 quarterbacks could have won. I'm not saying could have took him to the Super Bowl, but that specific Super Bowl game, all 32 quarterbacks could have won that.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And listen, Anthony, we're no one's here saying that 32 other quarterbacks could run this Eagles team. We're saying that specific game, the Chiefs had zero answer for the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
There was
30 yards in the third quarter. 30 yards.
What did they showed Nick Sirianni running up the field during Cooper DeJean's pick six. I'm like, he had more yards right there than the Chiefs had in the first half.
Yeah, like, that's insane. Like, that's what I was telling people. I was like, bro, do you not realize
they had 9 drives and they didn't cross midfield?
Jalen Hurts never had to touch the field, and the Eagles would have been up 9-0 going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's incredible.
And again, Anthony just he's not disrespecting Jalen Hurts. He's just saying that he could have turned around, handed it off. We could have got 9 yards of it in 4th and 1, and we could have kicked field goals all day. And there's another thing. All season long, Eagles fans, I hate Jake Elliott. All he does is miss. He can't do this. He goes in the Super Bowl and just starts kicking 50. He had to kick 8 times. And he was perfect. I'm like, what? This is ridiculous. Like, stuff that just happens in the Super Bowls that happened during the regular season was just insane.
From an outsider's perspective, and I'm not, but you pick up on it from an outsider's perspective. This was a really shitty Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, watching it,
it was, and I was okay with it.
I was expecting a good game, and I was like,
like when we played them in 22, right? That season,
that
that game was just, but that sucked, right? But that was a great game. Like the game was passionate, and I'm not saying this game lacked passion. I just think it lacked passion from only 22 players.
Mm-hmm.
What
I really think was like, you guys' D line took that loss personal. All that slipping in the turf, all of that. Yeah, they took that personal.
When they showed Lane Johnson saying, just keep hitting them, Remember that shirt you wore, and then like you said, they showed the sounds of the game, and Nick Sirianni's like, that's 1 sack, that's 2 sack. I'm like, and that's what I love about Sirianni, because all my friends tell me all I do is talk shit, and I think that's why I love Sirianni, because
you don't have friends. You don't have friends. Stop.
Acquaintances.
People Stop lying to, I know we got a guest here. You don't have to lie to them. You don't have
acquaintances. Is that better?
Yeah, people I know.
Shit talking's a part of the game, man.
Right. And I think
talking, you're not a real competitor.
Oh no, look, Terrance, I'm a teacher. I gotta do it for a living, right? That's what I do. That's my bread and butter.
He really is. I don't know how this dude molds young minds, but he does.
Yeah, you got what's you got to break them down to build them back up. Yeah, that's what I got. You got. Terrance, I wanted to ask you if you had oh man, we was on that beach and you found that lamp and then the genie came out and you got them 3 wishes, and those 3 wishes were gonna happen for Dallas this year. Right now, you can't. It's kind of the same genie rules we're running. Okay, you can't wish for no one to die. So in this case, in football terms, no one to get hurt, no other ill on anyone. So let's stay. Okay,
no player.
Perfect. This is, get this dude. We're gonna have you on regularly. But
regularly. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I stopped watching the game with a few Dallas Eagles fans when Romo got his collarbone broke, and they was all loving that. I'm like, oh, all right, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go home.
I can never get
home.
That.
I ain't for. Yeah, I'm not for. If you're not, this is not what that game's about. But anyway, all right, you get 3 wishes, no ill. It's not unlimited money. It has to stay realistic. Mm-hmm. So you got 2 guys here who are going to be like, that's a bullshit deal. That's never going to happen. We'll call it on that, right? And then the third one is there's no hurt, and it's got to be realistic. What's your 3 wishes for this year?
My 3 wishes. I feel like they're gonna come true. but I don't want to jinx it. I want us to be what we said we're going to be, selectively aggressive. We don't have to overspend. We just have to find the right guys. That's all it's about, the right guys. It doesn't matter how much you spend. It's the right guys. And you know what I mean, just address those needs. You know, I don't want to depend on rookies to do vet jobs when we don't need to. And key positions like D tackle, linebacker. I feel like we need vets to fill those roles. I'm hoping like a Ken Law, Jonathan Allen, somewhere.
That's what I'm looking for.
Ken Law, Nick Bolton, somewhere in that range.
I think Nick Bolton ends up a Cowboy.
That's that's gonna make me cry.
Great age, man. 24, 2-time champion, just a great age. I don't even want to care why the Chiefs don't want him no more. I don't even want to think about it. I'm just hoping he was a cap casualty.
They traded one of their best
receivers. Yeah, I know.
Their tackles today or the other day.
There's got to be there's got to be more to that. By the way, I can't even begin to understand that. Right,
Nick Bolton.
Yeah, I can't understand how that's even.
How they just let him go, not even a trade him or anything, just wash your hands. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do they owe any money on that contract, or is that you
free agent?
That's crazy. You just, but maybe there's an offer for him to like, yo, just go out there. We're gonna let you talk.
Yeah, maybe I better say they might be letting him test the waters.
That's pretty ballsy.
Because honestly, they don't really want to pay him, man. They don't really want to pay
small market team shit.
Maybe the Eagles can sign him. I'm kidding.
Who could be in your price range?
What I was like the thing, like, you know, that I was debating with Eagles fans. Oh, you don't need to resign Zach Ball and this and that. I'm like, do you guys realize that Nakobe Dean isn't coming back early? Oh boy, you got him coming back on.
Eric, get on, man. What are you doing? Get on.
He did. He tore his ACL.
Who?
Nakobe Dean.
Patella.
Yeah, separated patella, I think, right? Separated.
He was trying. It was like he was trying to push it back in, and it coming up through his
separated.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that's not. That's obviously that's not good. You know what? So your wish is that the money that's being spent is for actual needs, right? Don't spend on your names because it's going to draw a jersey talent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, some football players. I said Nick Bolton, Jerry Greenlaw, in that area. D tackle, Ken Law, Allen in that area. And then receiver. Just give me a vet receiver. I still want to draft one. Give me a vet receiver. I like Stephon Diggs. I know he wants to be a Cowboy. I know he wants to play with his brother. That'd be great.
He tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
So like that's something I think we can get him for cheap.
Oh yeah.
2-3-year deal. Somewhere like $15 million range.
I was just about to say 3 years, $15 million.
Yeah.
And even go $9 million guaranteed.
Yeah, with some incentives on it.
Yeah, for that it's got to be an incentive laden contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then still draft a receiver.
DK.
I want Nick Chubb. DK, great, cool. Get me a Nick Chubb. That's my want in free agency. Nick Chubb. I think that I still want to draft a running back too.
How much is he gonna go for? Hold on.
Right now, his market is saying $4 million, and if that's the case, that is insane.
There's no way.
No.
Listen,
no.
And you know what? I will say this: he's injury prone. He's injury prone.
His target.
What's he in his seventh? What's he in his 7th year now?
I think like 6 or 7.
7th year. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. All right.
The market right now is less than Rico Dials, which is crazy.
How?
Crazy.
I'm looking. I'm pulling up his contract now. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh wow, that is a really
sickening.
That's a steal.
Steal, yes.
Yeah, then obviously
in a Dallas Cowboy uniform, I will. Woo! And then go draft me a guy in the second round like a Quinton Judkins.
Now that I know about this, Chris, this changes a lot of stuff about that Kenny Gainwell conversation for me.
knock it off. No, knock it off. No.
I said I want the full back position.
No,
and Nick Chubb.
Knock
is
it
a
off.
goddamn fullback.
Nick Chubb ain't playing no fullback.
That's what
I think. Oh no, come on. Damn. No, so we
that would actually be a really good signing for Dallas. And then you know what? Like it kind of like solidifies. Like listen, Rico Dowdle, he's a good serviceable back. I don't know why.
I think we let Rico walk.
I don't know why they let him. Why they waited so long? Why can't I think of the coach's name?
McCarthy?
Yeah, I don't know why McCarthy waited so long to run the ball with him.
Listen.
You seem angry about this.
Woosa.
Yo, that was bullshit this year. You hear me? Bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you straight. Green Bay fans warned me. And I didn't want to believe him. I said, no. Mike got Kellen out of here. He's going to run the ball. Damn it. He lied to us. He philandered us. He lied to us. Granted, I will give him some grace. Because he did want Tony Pollard back, and they did not make it happen. And I think he wanted to prove something. And I think he went out on his own terms of that.
I love how this is like I'm almost getting some tea spillage, but I know I'm not.
Just a little. Just you have me something a little.
I know, and I know I can't get it all, but God,
it just didn't make sense. Like the guy averages almost 5 yards a carry towards like when they started running the ball.
For me, yeah.
Undervalued.
The way the roster was constructed, there was no reason for us to come in and try to throw the ball 40, 50 times a game. Seeing what the receivers did in the 23 season, we should have known we needed to run the ball more. So like the beginning of the season never made sense to me. Trying to justify Dak's $60 million never made sense to me. You pay a guy $60 million to win you games, not to carry you, to win you games when it matters. And that's just what it is. Like people say, "Oh, you getting paid $60 million. Oh, you don't deserve no help, or you getting all the help's money." That's insane. You hear me? That is insane. The cap is going up every year. It just went up $20 million from the previous year. Jerry knew this. Jerry said it before he even paid that. I know where the cap's going to be. I'm going to get these guys paid.
Jerry thinks everyone's a moron. That's the problem. Like, we don't know how to count goddamn dollars either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My whole thing was Dak said he wouldn't take $60 million, and they made a situation where
then he cried.
No, listen. If I say to you, I don't need to be the highest paid, I just want to get a deal done.
Right.
And you go to the media immediately after I say that and say I want to watch leaves fall, and then watching leaves fall, we watched Trevor Lawrence get money that Dak would have took, Jared Goff get money that Dak would have took, Tua get money that Dak would have took. So when watching all those leaves fall, Dak said, "Well, this is where the market is. I got to get my market value, or I'm not doing what I should be doing for the guys that's coming behind me."
That didn't come with the guaranteed like these other contracts, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Like these newer, like Dak's contract is at the very
It's a straight 4 year. Everybody else that you see that signed 4 year deals had other years a part of that. So
Right.
it was like even when they signed 4 years, the contract was 4 years. It was really 5 and 6 years.
Yep.
And Dax is really 5 and 6. It's 4 years, but it's really 5 years because they owed him money regardless.
That's rollover money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like he really had them up against the wall. No trade clause. No tag clause, and
old school, bro. People are going to be running from the team if you don't start restructuring your deals in a way that makes team players feel welcome.
My thing is, the Cowboys paid for that because they had a chance to sign Dak to a long-term deal that he could have possibly still been on or just coming off of when you guys signed Wentz. When the Rams signed Goff, you
can sign him to an 8-year from the rip, but you wanted to play him out on the rookie contract, and you paid dearly for it.
Exactly.
You did no, but that's what Jerry does. He does that. He plays chicken on these deals. But if you lose, you should be paying. Like you don't just get to go like, I guess I'm just gonna walk away. No, I mean you can, but where are you going to build where does that build a team? Players aren't stupid. They want to come to a team where they're going to feel that love.
Especially with the quarterback. Like if just doing the numbers. Y'all signed Carson to what, $32 million a year, right? 32?
30.
Well, a lot.
It on paper it would end up being 32 because of the first year postseason. Yes.
Yeah. So
it ballooned like crazy because of that.
Yeah, and then Goff got around the same amount. If we would have paid Dak then, coming off of his third year, gave him the 5-year whatever.
So pay him the year before his rookie is up.
So what's that? 20. So that's 2019. We signed him to a 5-year. 20. He would have just been coming off of that contract.
Right. So what would you have put the offer on the table as?
I mean, he'd probably be getting $60 million now. But what I'm saying, he'll probably still get $60 million. But what I'm saying, you would have had a lot more flexibility. So now, if you would have signed him to that 5-year, 3 years down the road, when you see the QB market ballooning again, you sign him to an extension. Now you know what I mean? The same thing you're gonna do with Jalen. When it's time to come time to get his due again, you know what I mean? Instead of waiting and this cap hit the rod, you're gonna extend them just like we did to Saquon, extend them and push those years out a little bit longer, you know what I mean, and manipulate the cap like any good franchise would. Right. And what they did was they played with Dak's money and they paid the ultimate price.
That's that baseball trick, though, isn't it? It's that Bobby Bonilla contract trick.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
you are kicking money down the road.
Yeah, you're kicking it down the road. You're still going to have to pay it, but you're manipulating the cap to where you can still produce a great team without, you know what I mean, the cap hits. And yeah, Howie is killing it right now. And
that's like the thing is like when it comes up again,
the quarterback.
The quarterback market's going to be so high that Jalen's going to be one of the top lower quarterbacks on the pay scale.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good
what?
That's
so
a good
I
question.
got a question for you.
That's a good one.
Then you can answer this one. Growing up, who was your favorite football team?
Cowboys.
You're from Harrisburg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, my dad was a Cowboys fan. I pretty much adopted all his favorite teams.
Oh, so you was garbage from a youth. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So this is not like an adult thing. It was like he was a trashy kid too. Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm a Cowboy. I've been a Cowboy fan since everything. So
it was just pure elation.
Yeah, I've been through all the losing. I've just, like I said, football fan first. There was a lot of years I had to be a football fan first. You know, I'm biased.
Actually, listen,
shit, he is way young. I just realized, man, you cool because like You could chop it up he could chop it up like an old head, but like I realize how young you are, and it's like he's like, I've been through the lose. I'm like, come on, man, the '90s was a special. Oh, that's right, you were not around for that. I dealt with it in high school and all of my Cowboys friends. So like, I'm like, dang, he is right. He has really been through like it. This feels bad, doesn't it?
Man, like it hurts being a Cowboy fan. Like I tell you, it hurts, man.
And that's like when I said, like, when the Cowboys eventually get back over that hump and they win, it's gonna be the worst, however long year it is.
No, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate. Oh man, I couldn't even tell you what's
as you should, and listen, I'm biased too. I'm an Eagles fan, but if your favorite team wins, you need. You know how many times I'm gonna post that Cooper DeJean video?
It's so hard in football, bro. Like it's the hardest sport to do.
Right. You know how many times I'm gonna post that Devontae Smith touchdown catch? You know how many times I'm gonna watch the Cooper? I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna cry. Like I watched the Mic'd Up. Like the full episode, and I got choked up when Cooper DeJean intercepted, and I don't even know why. Like I know what happens. I know how this game ends. Why am I like on the edge of my feet? Like I know what's gonna happen. I was in Keith's house when Cooper DeJean intercepted the ball. Keith was downstairs.
You were in my house for the whole game, bud.
I know, but I'm saying is, you thought I was going to go through your floor.
No, I was happy for him, man, on his birthday and everything. Like that was good.
That was so cool.
So what do you think of the exciting points?
I'm about to burst a bubble here. Rumors: Nick Chubb is being eyed up by the Chiefs, which makes a lot of sense because of their current running backs. Don't they have half of their core going up for free agency?
I think yeah.
Is Pacheco is up this year, and is Steele up too?
No, Steele's a rookie.
No. Yeah, but
Parsons Steele?
Yeah, no, he's under contract.
He is under contract.
He's a fullback.
Doesn't exist in this league. You know it. I know it. When was the last time you seen any fullback plays ever called?
The Chiefs can eye him, man. We got the cap space.
Yeah. So we had a comment up earlier. We're gonna pull it back up.
Oh, why? We already know the answer now.
The Micah one. Cause Micah sounds Eagles. Listen, Micah's not a Cowboy. Micah wasn't a Cowboy fan growing up, so y'all don't really have to worry about that. But just being from PA, small town, Harrisburg, bro, it's just not something that interests him. You know, it has nothing to do with Philly. He's a Sixers fan. Nothing to do with Philly. Just who wants to go back to the town that they were raised in or the state that they were raised in?
Sure, no, I respect it. Do you or Micah? Do you guys talk to Abdul Carter?
Yeah, Abdul, him and Mike have the same trainer. Like if
that's awesome.
In the comparisons and things like that, yeah, they have the same trainer. Before Abdul made the switch to DN, he had confided in Micah a lot, and Micah had put him in touch with Lance Dean. Shout out Lance Dean.
Lance Dean? Wait,
yeah,
what?
I don't know if you guys know, like in tune with high school sports.
No, but you told me to shout him out, so that's what I did, bro. Like, what you can't tell me to shout someone out. I'm not gonna do it.
He a high school football coach for Central Dauphin East High School. He just became one of the youngest athletic directors for the Susquehanna Valley. For the Susquehanna Valley, what is their name again? Indians, Susquehanna Indians. He's my age. Yeah, he's AD. He's doing great things. Mike was gonna move him down to Dallas and really put him in tune with the training and things like that. But he found his niche. He loves what he's doing. He's working. He was even working with Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff was training him in the offseason. So expect changes out of Bryce Huff too. I think he's going to be a player for you.
Or we could also trade Bryce Huff for Micah Parsons. I feel that's a good trade, straight up.
But man, yeah, Lance Dean, great trainer, man. Abdul, I think he's gonna be really good at DN.
He's got to be the number one pick, right? Has to
I
be.
don't think he's gonna be number one pick, but I definitely think he should be a top 10 pick. Pass rusher. People keep saying I want him on the Cowboys. I would like him on the Cowboys, but me personally, I'd much rather a guy not like Micah. You know, Micah was.
Yeah, would it be a great acquisition? Yeah, but there's other needs to fill. If Micah wasn't getting to the quarterback, or if anybody else wasn't getting to the quarterback, it would be one thing. But Micah's getting to the quarterback. You have that defensive tackle.
Yeah, it's just for me. It's just the builds. Like Abdul and Micah aren't natural defensive ends. They're linebackers that can rush the passer. They're faster and strong enough to contend, but they have their limits in terms of being a complete defensive end. And you just don't want two of those on your team. Period. Like I love them. You just don't want two of those on your team. Two guys that do the same thing. I think the Micah and the DeMarcus Lawrence combo is the best, and that's why I think I like Milan. I think he's going to be a ball player for us.
All right. Well, it's getting late for us here on the East Coast.
Late.
He's in Harrisburg, bro.
No, he's not. He's in Dallas.
No, I'm in Dallas.
Are you in Dallas? Oh, he's an hour. He's an hour behind. It's not.
You want to talk about any upcoming projects you have going on before we
hit us up with your socials and tell us everything you're doing. But dude, you're awesome, man. I love you.
Unwanted opinion. Yeah, you can find us at Real Talk Pod. That was the original podcast that me and my homie had started last year.
Should it be Real Talk? I put tack there. Well, you should have told me that whole time.
No. That's what it is. That's what it is.
All right.
Talk is, it's just it was the at name. It wasn't available, so we just made it like that.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
But yeah, you can find us on X, YouTube, TikTok, all major platforms. We rebranded this off season. We added that's my son right there.
What's up, big man?
What's up, buddy?
Ramen's crying.
Okay, hold on, buddy.
Look at that. Right on time. Right on cue.
That's awesome. He came right. He's like, just let you know, there's a situation.
So, Real Talk, we rebranded Unwanted Opinion with Tad Prescott, Dak's older brother. We got a bunch of interviews coming. We just did one with Roy Williams. We got one coming with Quincy Carter.
Safety? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was a good one. Tune in. He had a lot of good stories to give us. We're gonna do Quincy Carter tomorrow. That should be a good one. We're trying to get Brock Hoffman on. We got a bunch of things planned. We're gonna do training camp, bunch of different collaborations with a bunch of different Cowboy content creators. We got a lot of things coming. Tune in. We do a lot more than just Cowboy things. We talk about everything, every team, anything that's going on. We're not just strictly Cowboys.
Love it.
Yeah, I caught some of your stuff throughout this week as we were all chatting it up, and I'm like, this is dope. This is it's good stuff.
What I was like, Eric's like, he texted me. He's like, you better be ready for him.
Yeah, listen, I know my stuff. Like, I take pride in knowing my stuff. And that's why, like, you really can't catch me being biased, because I hate that. Like, football. Like, if you're gonna be a fan of football, be a fan of football.
Right. You gotta take those lumps with the cheers.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're not always gonna be right. You know what I mean? You can't always be wrong. Always gonna talk football. I love talking it all day. If y'all want to be on for 3 hours, I'll be down.
Love it.
I would love to possibly just start doing some round table stuff and maybe just linking up some more to get possibly even do our breakdowns of the weeks, or just catching up and see what you guys have.
Yeah, T, we'll definitely be in touch. Do you do a draft? do you do a draft night show? Are you live on that?
I did one last year with Law Nation. I asked him today because we just did another show, talking about the offseason things like that. So I asked him today if we're going to do another draft party, things like that. So if he gets back to me, I'll let you guys know. If not, we can definitely collab on something. I'll definitely do.
Yeah, well, me and Eric are usually on for the full draft for 3 hours. So we'll definitely come on. You get you on. We'll definitely get you on during the season for Dallas week.
For sure.
And we'll definitely link up during the year.
Please. I like so shit talking's great, but it's gotta be shit.
What's that?
You guys go to games?
I do. We do try to do 1 or 2 games a year. I know last year we went to Giants Stadium for the return of Saquon. We don't know what we're doing this year.
Hey, if y'all want to make a trip to Dallas, let me know. I got the tailgates. Good times, man.
Sounds good. We'll definitely link up.
We've been looking for that special road trip. That sounds real special. Listen. I'll go into enemy territory. I'm not disrespectful. I like talking.
Hey, for anybody, I don't know how it is in Philly. I haven't been yet. I did want to go a couple of years ago, but I got kids, man.
Listen. Before we wrap it up, this is what I'll say: is you have to go. You got to know you're going to get heckled. It's the people who drink too much and get out of hand.
Yeah.
And for me, I like when I go to sporting events and I see little kids wearing other teams' jerseys. I don't boo them. I don't heckle them. I think it's stupid. I think it's idiotic. Like, there's no reason to boo a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, are you that insecure as a man or as a woman that you're gonna boo a little kid? Like, stop it. Grow up.
When I turn to a Dallas fan and I laugh at them and I'm smiling and go, "You garbage," and I'm laughing, they look at me and go, "Yeah, you too." You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it should be and all that. And
yeah, but like shit talking is a part of it, man. Like,
it's gotta be. Right. You only got 17 weeks of 18 weeks of it, it's not a drawn out season. It takes up a very small window of the year in terms of like that rivalry to come out. Because we're all just waiting on pins and needles at this point.
Right,
Dallas, man, it's lovely there. You know what I mean? You might get heckled. We don't even really do the heckling for real, to be honest with you. It's really all fun vibes. We drinking. We're having fun.
But that was the thing. I went to Giant Stadium and I went with Philly Sports Trips, and I was drinking. Listen, you can't drink all day if you don't start at 7 a.m. and I drank at 7 a.m. But like it was funny because Eric was like my podcast partner. He was sitting there. He's like, "You cannot make friends with Giants fans," like, because I'm in like the States, and I'm in the game. I got my El Luchador mask on. When I'm there, like, kids are coming up, parents like, "Oh, we take a picture." Yeah, that's fine. And it's just like, just joking around, like, you can't make friends with them. They're in enemy territory. Just joking around, and I'm like, I'm here for fun. I'm here to watch a football game.
We did the draft in that we made friends with Dallas guys. We were with Giants guys. It was almost all the NFC East guys were hanging out, and we were just ribbing on each other the whole time. But loving every second of it. If you're not doing that, you shouldn't be watching football.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so that's what it's about for real.
You don't get it. Yeah, you don't get it if you're being serious. If you really hate that person for that reason.
I'm too old. All right, well, Terrance, thanks for joining us. Myself and Eric will definitely be in touch with you. Keith, thanks for stepping in for Eric with his power out. He still doesn't have power out. He still doesn't have power yet.
Yeah, next time he comes on, I'll be Terrance. I'm usually producing. I'm usually in the background. I grace my good looks today. It's just how it'll be sometimes. You got to get on. For the ladies and the fans on the camera.
So
and T, if you want, I'll send you a hat.
You don't be on the camera. You just be in the background, and them two be talking.
Yeah.
No, you gotta be. You gotta throw a third figurehead in there, man.
Yeah. No. I'm a third wheel. I don't want to.
T, if you want, I'll send you a hat.
Hey, man. Hey, congrats to my boy Saquon. Love him, man. Jahan Dotson, love him.
Yeah. Big Penn State guys.
Yeah, big Penn State. AJ Brown, love him. Devontae Smith, love him. I even like Jalen Hurts. I love his story. I love that he's from Texas. I like you said. I love the underdog, man. Underdog story for sure. I always respect that. I just want y'all to know I'm not a hater. I know I'll be Philly fans number one hater.
No, but I need you to do the meme stuff still, like post the garbage stuff.
I do.
Please.
Listen, I tell people I don't have a problem with Philly. It'd be the fans. So like when I do things on X and YouTube and all that for engagement, it's for the fans. It is no disrespect to the players.
Just say it. You a troll. Say it.
For the fans, you know. For the fans.
Say it. You a troll.
I'm a troll.
There you go.
I'm a troll, but I don't be trolling. I talk real football. People troll me, so I gotta troll back. You know.
Well, the problem, one like I try to tell my students all the time. The one skill in trolling is to just know your facts are right. Just like don't go like with feelings. If you go with feelings and like you'll just mess up your story. But if you go with stats and facts and things that are on the ground, I love when people go. A lot of people will say things like, what if they had that? But they don't, and it's not like that. Let's talk about what we're talking about here.
Yeah, literally. If was a fifth.
Oh, yeah. And what's the guy gonna do with the price of tea in China?
All right, guys, we're gonna head out again. T, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, man. I think I just made a new best friend today.
You did.
Man, that was cool, man, for sure.
Yeah, you are right, T, for Dallas. Now, I got plenty of Dallas fans. Like they were really hyped that you were coming on, so I made sure I sent them the link. So, all right, guys, thank you. Thanks to everybody who joined, and this will be up on the social media airwaves again.
Yeah, I'll share it around.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.